Welcome back to one slide series on control systems unlocked. So we were looking at representations of dynamical systems. Particularly, we looked at transfer functions and then state space representations. I mentioned already state space representations are better in terms of handling multiple inputs and multiple outputs and as compared to transfer functions. But and we are going to use state space formalizations more often than the transfer function in what follows. But I would like to talk this lecture about eigenvalues. Okay, whether you are looking at this system state space or its transfer function, they are both a representation of an ordinary differential equation. When we took undergraduate controls, we learned how to control systems using such transfer functions. But thanks to their versatility in terms of handling multi-input, multi-outputs easily, graduate level mostly covers this state space representation. Anyhow, we discussed eigenvalues of this matrix A or the poles, which are equivalent if the system is completely, if the system is controllable and observable. So poles or eigenvalues define systems' transient and stability characteristics, and very important, regardless you are looking at an open loop system or a closed loop system. So when you look at an open loop system, clearly x equals to ax, no inputs whatsoever, and behavior of this system is highly influenced by this matrix A. If you are looking at a closed-loop system, x that equals to ax plus bu, let's say you are using some sort of a feedback controller. Right now I am using this. I haven't covered controller types, so for now, just take this as one of the candidates. Later we're going to dive into. We haven't learned yet how to design control. But the point that I'm trying to make, if you close the system, close the loop with some sort of a controller, you are going to have ax minus b multiplied by kx. So you are going to have this system. So regardless of you are looking at open loop or a closed loop, at the end you are going to deal with a system matrix. Open loop case A, closed loop case A minus BK, or its variance depending on what control action, what control structure you pick. So to make this general, I am going to look at the eigenvalues of x that equals to ACX. AC can represent A if you are looking at an open loop system, or AC can represent A minus BK, or its variance if you are looking at a closed loop system. So from this standpoint, it can be eigenvalues affect the behavior of an open loop system if you are not controlling, or a closed loop system if you are controlling. So when you have an ordinary differential equation like this, its solution can be written like x equals to e to the power of AC time the initial condition. So this AC, you can decompose it as MC DC MC inverse. And once you substitute it here, after a couple of steps, you are going to get this expression. MC here stores the eigenvectors. DC stores diagonally the eigenvalues if they are real. Otherwise, block diagonal wise if we have complex forms. But again, I mentioned a couple videos back, I don't care about finding the solutions. I would like to understand how I understand how the system behaves by looking at some characteristics like the eigenvalues. And right now we are looking at the eigenvalues. So eigenvectors I mentioned pops up inside the MC matrix, but they are all constants, okay? 1, 2, 5, minus 10, it doesn't matter. But the evolution with respect to time of this system is defined by DC, and this DC stores the eigenvalues. So now, uh, if you have three eigenvalues like this, system will create an oscillative response like that. Because when you have eigenvalues that are dominant, what I mean by dominant, close to the imaginary axis, The a system matrix AC's most dominant eigenvalue is the one that is closest to the imaginary axis, assuming all other eigenvalues are has negative real parts, like in this scenario. In this case, system will converge since all eigenvalues have negative real parts, but because of dominant eigenvalues has imaginary parts, system will oscillate. Actually, this behavior, if you remove that eigenvalue, still you are going to get a closed behavior like this. Or if you get, for example, two more eigenvalues somewhere here that are far away from the dominant one, you are still going to get more or less the same basically same behavior. So the point that I'm trying to make, the behavior, how fast the system converges depends on the dominant eigenvalue. Also, system will oscillate or not oscillate, also related with the dominant eigenvalue. So this, let's say this dominant eigenvalue has a real part, which is minus rho c, then we can approximate the settling time as 4 divided by rho c seconds. So if this rho c is 1, then system will converge 4 divided by around 1 seconds after those oscillations. Now, if you don't want oscillations, especially when you are designing the system matrix K, you need all eigenvalues not only on the left half plane, because left half plane, if all eigenvalues have negative real parts, this matrix will converge, the solution will converge. So uh, if you choose eigenvalues along the inside those that dash lines, and usually uh, the degree of these dashed lines with respect to real axis, if you want more on the conservative side, you can select it to be 30 degrees, 45 degrees maximum. So if you choose eigenvalues like this, or if you have a system that has those eigenvalues, here the dominant eigenvalue is real. So system response will be smooth, and in this case, still the real part of the dominant eigenvalue, in this case, real already, will define the settling time. So whatever that value is, again, if it is minus 2, then 4 divided by 2 is 2 seconds. System will converge in 2 seconds. But and these are by the way, step responses. Okay, so I am applying step responses by changing the eigenvalues. So it really doesn't matter. You can look at the impulse response. If you look at the impulse response, more or less, you are going to get a behavior converging to zero if all eigenvalues have negative real parts. But not important. Again, the behavior is, I am talking about oscillations versus not oscillations. If you choose all eigenvalues to be real, if I can move this like this, for example, system will not oscillate and system's convergence time will be defined based with respect to the closest eigenvalue to the imaginary axis in this case. Now, if you have another eigenvalue that is here, then that becomes your closest eigenvalue to the imaginary axis. Then you need to look at its rho c to define the settling time. So you need to be careful. So if you have a case like this, even if you don't have real eigenvalues, since the dominant eigenvalue is real, and if they are not very close uh, to this, like if, of course, if you are here, you are violating this 30 degree con or 45 degree. But if you have eigenvalues like this, you can have more eigenvalues, a complex conjugate, of course, on the real axis like this, system behavior will be more or less like this. So this is a fifth order system behavior as compared to the first order system behavior like this will be quite the same. So the punchline that what you may learn from this video is that uh, when you look at the eigenvalues of an open loop system or a closed loop system, if you are designing K, if you are designing K, you should choose the eigenvalues such that your closed-loop system eigenvalues will be trapped here, with the first one being real, so that you can have a smooth, non-oscillatory system performance, which, so transients you can define, no oscillations, smooth. Settling time you can define. everything will be well behaved. But whenever you have eigenvalues like this, system will try to oscillate. So we would like to, we shouldn't have any imaginary eigenvalues that are here or here. If everything is on this cone, with the first one being real, system will nicely converge. Otherwise, you are at the risk of making oscillations, because whenever you have imaginary components, then you are going to have cosine and sine terms inside this DC matrix. Then you may have some oscillations. So if you have any questions, let me know. I hope this is clear, and see you next time.